What's going on, everyone? It's Kyle Henderson of BamaInsider.com. I hope you had a good Memorial weekend. I know I did. And, we're only free because of the Braves. So for those that paid the ultimate sacrifice, we sincerely appreciate what you did for this great country. I'm back. It's May 28th, 2019. Feeling good. You have SEC Spring Media Days, which will take place over the next couple days down in Destin, Florida. Hot topics this week that will be addressed: booze at college football games, legalized sports gambling and how that will affect the college sporting landscape, the NCAA transfer portal. I'm curious to see what Nick Saban has to say regarding the NCAA transfer portal, just because it's simply become free agency in college football. We will have Nick Saban's press conference from the SEC Spring Media Days uploaded to our YouTube channel later today, so stay tuned for that. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel to make sure you get the proper notifications so you can get access to our videos, podcasts, everything else quickly, and of course, all the information back at BamaInsider.com. And another item on the table: how do you feel about college players being paid based off their likeness? I sincerely hope that NCAA football makes its way back to the PS4, the Xbox, whatever you play. But how would you feel about players being paid based off their likeness? How can the NCAA skirt around that to make sure that the players are paid? I don't even know how to phrase it. How do you feel about players potentially being paid based off their likeness? Sound off in the comment box. Again, this is Kyle Henderson. This is the Talk of Champions on BamaInsider.com. Thanks for joining our YouTube channel. Thanks for following us on Bama Insider. And today we're continue our 19 for 19. Today we're going to be talking about which summer arrival has the best shot at playing early during the 2019 season. If you want to read the complete list of the prospects that are enrolling early this week and next week, go to BamaInsider.com. I'll also read through the names right here as we move through the show. 12 guys coming in this summer, adding more depth, adding more high-caliber players to the 2019 season. And I think a lot of people are simply excited about one particular name, and that is five-star Trey Sanders. So let me first tell you that Trey Sanders does not get in this week. He gets in next week, as IMG has their graduation in early June. So you're going to have another five-star stepping on the field at running back. It's already a crowded room in the running back unit, right? You have Najee Harris, who was the highest graded out player from the running backs during the 2018 season. His overall grade from Pro Football Focus, 90.6. Yeah, that's definitely, that was higher than Josh Jacobs and Damian Harris. He returns. You have Brian Robinson, who, as you know, one of the fastest running backs in the room, probably the fastest running back in the room. He comes back. He's got to get fed. You have Jerome Ford, who looked fantastic during the springtime. You also have Chadarius Townsend, who saw some time at running back. And then Keelan Robinson will be another guy who returns. However, we've mentioned several times that he had surgery, so I don't know how quickly he'll be able to recover from, it looked like a knee surgery. So we'll have to keep you updated on that as we move into the summer months. But Trey Sanders will get to Alabama next week. And do you feel that he has any sort of opportunity to play early here at Alabama? I mean, during his signing day ceremony, you know what he said? He said he's going to win the Heisman Trophy. Lofty goals. I respect that. It's a crowded running back room. And throughout the last couple seasons, it hasn't been one particular running back that has carried the load for the Crimson Tide. It's sort of been a running back by committee. Now, I will say that Trey Sanders brings another added element to the Crimson Tide's running back group, because he can catch the football out of the backfield better than Najee, Brian, Jerome. He just has that playmaking ability when he can catch the football. Watch some of his highlights on Rivals.com. Incredible receiver. And I think with his overall ability just to create plays, that Trey Sanders is certainly going to get a ton of playing time this year for the Crimson Tide. And I've said it before. Saban this spring alluded to the fact that there's always one freshman running back that gets on the field, and I think that's going to be Trey Sanders. He also returns kicks. He returns punts. He sees the field incredibly well and cannot wait to get some early footage of Trey Sanders. And we'll upload that to our Bama Insider YouTube channel when Alabama starts working out in August. So we will have all that coverage for you right here on our YouTube channel. Hey, college students, hey, we've all been broke. We've all been month to month before. Hit me up for the college promo. My email is kyle@bamainsider.com. I will give you the college promo sign-up code. If you have a job and you're just a YouTube listener, but you want to get behind the paywall on bamainsider.com to get the complete daily nuggets, hit me up at kyle@bamainsider.com. I'll walk you through it, or you can simply go to Bama Insider, sign up, look for the free 30 days. The promo code at checkout is simply Roll Tide. Man, I had a great weekend. I mean, I chilled with family. I hit up Lake Tuscaloosa. Lake Tuscaloosa, I don't know if you've ever been to Lake Tuscaloosa before, but it is absolutely beautiful. One thing I love about living in the South is just I love the weather. I love warmer weather than I do cold weather, and I learned that, probably later in my life. When I was in college, I went to college for a brief time in Pella, Iowa. Central College. Anyone ever know where that's at? It's south of Des Moines. Too cold for me. Great people, too cold. That's why I love the South, The weather, sure, it's hot in the summertime, but just a great overall vibe. Got to hang out with family and friends. So Tuscaloosa has been very great to us. I'm so blessed to be here in the great city of Tuscaloosa in the great state of Alabama. All right, moving on. And we're talking about early summer enrollees that could potentially have an impact during the 2019 season. There's 12 guys coming in. We talked about Trey Sanders. How about Christian Harris, the 4-star linebacker, University Lab in Baton Rouge? I mean, Alabama took one of LSU's major targets right out of Baton Rouge, and that's Christian Harris. If you've seen Christian Harris, I uploaded his highlights recently. 6'2", 234 pounds, probably closer to 240 pounds, who played inside linebacker under Pete Golding. And he is an absolute freak of an athlete. Now, during his high school tenure, he played mostly receiver and corner. He didn't even play linebacker. So I don't know how he's going to be able to come in and contribute right off the bat for Golding and Alabama's defense. But there is room to play within the inside linebackers. Besides Dylan Moses, I think there's an open spot. And that's going to be a big position battle. That could be Joshua McMillan, Shane Lee, Ali Cajo. Christian Harris, I mean, he was returning kicks, punts. Yeah, so let's keep tabs on Christian Harris as he gets enrolled this summer time for the Crimson Tide, because I think just his overall athleticism and just a very instinctual player, he could do some big things here for the Crimson Tide. Not later on, like potentially this year, kind of where that had the Jalen Moody war last year, special teams dynamite type player. Brandon Turnage comes in. He's a cornerback. A lot of people are expecting great things from him. He's a very versatile player. Another guy who played two ways in high school. Most of these guys probably did. Brandon Turnage is a guy with exceptional speed. He'll be a welcomed addition to the Alabama defensive secondary unit, working with Carl Scott, who coaches the defensive backs. Ishmael Sopsher will make his way to Tuscaloosa this week. 4-star defensive tackle out of Louisiana. Big, imposing defensive tackle who Alabama is really excited to get to the program. I mean, I think we saw a lot of positives with the defensive line this springtime, and especially another early enrollee who enrolled in actually December of 2018 was DJ Dell, and you saw that he's already repping with the ones. But I think Ishmael Sopsher is going to be another guy that can add depth to that defensive tackle unit, because as you know, the defensive tackle, it's not like, there's a ton of quality defensive tackles across the board in college football. So getting Ishmael Sopsher, who Alabama really is excited about, to campus is a big deal. Another guy is Byron Young, 4-star defensive tackle out of Mississippi. And another guy, when you watch his highlight tape, he's a really big body. He can fill up the lanes. He can chase down the quarterback. A lot of people weren't talking about him, talking about Ishmael Sopsher. But I think Byron Young is another guy that you're going to be really excited about. DeMarco Hellams also checks in. I believe he's already at the capstone. He's a safety out of Maryland. Really incredible playmaker. He'll be a welcome addition to the defensive secondary as well. Braylon Ingram, who's another defensive end out of Fort Lauderdale, another guy checking in. So a ton of talent checking into Alabama. The rich are getting richer. Jahill Billingsley, 4-star tight end. Now, how about Billingsley getting some playing time this year? Because when you look at Alabama's depth at the tight end position, sure, you have Miller Forrestall returning. Kejik James comes back. He'll be missing the first 4 games as he's suspended, but maybe Jahill Billingsley's a guy that can get on the field early for the Crimson Tide at the tight end position. But maybe that could be Cameron Latou, right? Who's a redshirt freshman who looked really good during the springtime. King Makuta also arrives this summer. He's a 4-star linebacker out of Georgia. Alabama's really excited about him. I don't know if he's quite ready to come in and make an instant impact like some of these other guys, especially because I think the linebackers and outside linebackers is such a stacked unit for the Crimson Tide. I'm really curious to see the health of Terrell Lewis, because that will really shake up the defensive depth chart, because I don't know if that outside linebacker position is going to be Terrell Lewis or if it's going to be Iyabi Inoma for the opener. I would probably suspect that it's going to be Iyabi Inoma just based on health concerns that Terrell Lewis is still recovering from the ACL last season. Well, thanks for joining us today. My name is Kyle Henderson of BamaInsider.com. Tomorrow we will talk about returning the top highest returning graded players for Alabama's offense, and the following day we'll do the same for the defense. I'll give you a quick little taste. Tua Tagovailoa last year during his sophomore season had an incredible grade of 90.8, and as I said earlier in the show, Najee Harris graded out at I believe it was 92. Let me get you Najee's grade. Najee's grade was 90.6. So Tua was 90.8, Najee 90.6. Both of those guys coming back headline Alabama's offense. And then, as we'll talk about, the receiving unit is completely stacked. Waddle, Judy, Smith, Ruggs all had exceptional grades during the 2018 season. And we'll also talk about how those grades compare with other highly graded players on opposing teams. For example, we'll compare the running backs against Georgia's running backs. We'll look at the receiving unit versus Clemson's receiving unit. As you know, Clemson has a very talented receiving corps coming back to the 2019 season. Hey, before we check out, really wanted to send some prayers and some thoughts to Rod Bramlett and his wife Paula, who were tragically taken this weekend in an automobile accident. Very tough news. Also, as you saw, Alabama Crimson Tide former quarterback and Green Bay Packer great Bart Starr passed away at 85 years old. Hey, it's never a bad time to tell someone how you feel about them. Call them up, tell them that you care. Life is short. Other than that, I will be back on Wednesday, May 29th, with another podcast. Then we'll start the videos up as we move forward and closer to the college football season. Hey, also stay tuned for the Nick Saban Press Conference, which will be dropped sometime today on our BamaInsider.com YouTube channel. All the coverage back at BamaInsider.com. My name is Kyle Henderson. I'm coming to you from beautiful Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Again, thank you to those who paid the ultimate sacrifice for us to have the freedom that we have. Great country to live in. Great place to be right here in Tuscaloosa. Thanks for joining us. I will catch you guys soon on BamaInsider.com.